Chat. We're off to a late start today. Unfortunate, but it's okay. It's okay because I've got a video that I am quite excited to react to. It did come out like 12 hours ago. It came out a while ago. Okay, it's kind of old news. But hold on. I don't even have it pulled up. Wait, where is it? Oh, there it is. Alright, how long is this shit?
All called.
It's an hour. Alright, we're watching more Nuxanor. Okay, we're reacting to more Nuxtaku content. Let's go. This video is... When I saw the title of this video, I was just like, alright, like, this is what we're doing now. Okay. Anyway, title of the video is Just Now, Some Cultures Are Inferior. They Are Noticing. Now, this is something that I have heard Nuxtaku say before, but only really about Arabs, not as much about black people. So it is interesting that he's kind of shifting a little bit. I mean, not really. He's a racist neo-Nazi. Let's go. Let's go. Racism.
Now, this is a statement that a lot of people don't like to hear.
Nuxanor is hyped for it.
And the truth is, yes, some cultures are better than others. Yep, correct. Yep, this is going to be the most racist video you're going to see today. But don't worry, gamers, because we
unironically, he's right about
love
that.
in our hearts. I'll just be real. Yeah, lock in, boys and girl. It's going to be insane. All right, so I wanted to show you a little video of an average day in America. All right, this is an average day in America, and then we're gonna do a deep dive on certain areas. All right, a bit of Matt Walshing around. But you are not ready for what we are about to see today. All right, I am going hard on this.
I'm probably not gonna pause this video as much.
The more I want to continue saying it.
Oh Jesus Christ, bro! Like, there's
because we did just watch a racism video by Nuxanor yesterday that was about black people. So I don't know if I'll be pausing it as much. I feel like if I do, I'll be rehashing a lot of what I said yesterday. But anyway, let's go.
You want me to go to jail? You want me to go to jail? No, they don't want you to go to jail. You do. You want to go to jail. You want to go to jail so bad. We need to reopen the asylums. True. We have to do it.
The fatigue is real.
Protesting against this place.
Oh my god, dude! And by the way, when I say all cultures aren't created equal, I am including the fucking weird LGBT inclusive woke culture too. All right, that is part of it. Some cultures are worse than others. The ones that are okay, this is obviously gonna be subjective. This is my opinion. The ones that are denominations of biblical cultures, for example, a Jewish culture, a Christian culture, I think they're the best cultures. All right, that's it, bro. The Judeo-Christian values are fucking goated. They're goated. It's over. All right, and every other culture is a little worse. All right. Now, obviously, there's no one's gonna like this one. Now, obviously, there's gonna be levels to this. There are gonna be levels and limits to this shit. All right, that's my opinion. I'm just saying, but and I've used this example many times before, and I'll use it again. If there's a culture that thinks that it's okay to rape children, do you think your neighborhood would be safer or less safe if you invited 100 people from that culture to your neighborhood? There is no one on the planet that would say, in my opinion, it would make the neighborhood safer. Okay, but that is what they are trying to get you to believe. They are trying to get you to believe this shit.
Yeah. What he's saying here, by the way, if you read between the lines, is that Muslims are rapist or like child rapist. Like, that's what he's getting at here. Keep in mind, this person has like connections to Israel. He is like obviously he's an Israel supporter, but you know, he is a person that is possibly Israeli. I don't know. He certainly has family there, and he talks about Israel all the fucking time. Apparently he's said in the past, he's talked about his family members that were in the IDF, which, if you didn't know, in order to become an Israeli citizen, there's mandatory conscription. You have to join the boys in the IDF. So anyway, all that is to say is that this anti-Arab sentiment is just like normal. It's just normal for a person who either is Israeli or is a sympathetic to the Israeli plight. But anyway, what's so fucking funny about it is that obviously Muslims are not pedophiles. That's just like a gross Islamophobic thing to say, and it's something that you hear a lot. But they aren't pedophiles. But you know who are pedophiles? You know who is you know which group of people is like highly pedophilic statistically is fucking Republicans, man. It's fucking Republican politicians. They're the pedophiles. Donald Trump is highly likely a pedophile. I would say at this point, after his statements surrounding Epstein, I'm almost certain, okay? It's certainly like upwards of like 80% chance he's a pedophile. Gotta be. Like before all the Epstein stuff, there was lots of evidence, and you know, I was more like on the fence about it. It was maybe like 50-50, you know, but now I'm significantly more certain that he's a pedophile. And anyway, even if he's not, like, tons of Republicans are, and lots of Democrats are as well, I'm sure. Because it's a class issue. If you are rich enough, you can get away with being a pedophile. Okay, that's it. It's not like that fucking Muslims are like able to protect themselves and be pedophiles. Okay, it's just not the fucking case. And in every single time, it's all the funniest fucking part is it's the pedophile party, Republicans, are the ones saying that the Muslims are pedophiles. The pedophiles are calling them pedophiles. And it's not just America either. You see the same thing in the UK. In Great Britain, they for years they were saying that the groomer gangs. Yeah, right. I can't do a British accent, but that's what they were saying. They were talking about the groomer gangs, the Pakistani groomer gangs. Oh my god, they're grooming, they're in gangs and they're grooming. And literally the grooming gangs are the Tories. They are literally the grooming gangs, and there was like this whole scandal about it. That fucking the people, the Tories in the UK, which is like their version of Republicans, were literally grooming children in collaboration with each other. They were literally doing grooming gangs while they were saying that brown people were doing grooming gangs. Anyway, let's just keep going.
Cafe, because it is run and funded by a homophobic church. So we think that's
bogus. Homophobic church? You mean a church that follows the word of God? What do you mean a homophobic church? Dude, you're allowed to have your values. Someone else is allowed to have their values. Like, get a life, brother. Oh my god.
And that's bullshit.
They're allowed to. Okay, like, this is something I talk about quite often, actually. I like, nobody is saying you can't be homophobic. Okay, like, nobody is saying you cannot be homophobic. You can't, and for religious reasons, for political whatever, doesn't matter. Like, you can be homophobic. It's just wrong. It's just wrong, bro. That's it. That's all we're saying. Okay, you should not be homophobic. That's the message. Dumbass.
Get the hell out of our neighborhood.
Man, one video after another. Yep, there's one video after another. There's more and more of these. And oh, this is in Philadelphia.
Oh damn. Oh my god. Yeah, your head was in the ground.
Oh god, it's the fentanyl zombies.
You gonna be alright?
Bro, look at this. What is this shit? It's a zombie town? Yeah, look at it. I mean, it's gotta be like it is actually like they.
You need help?
Jesus. God damn, bro. Like, this is just too much.
And you're gonna tell me that culture is as good as a culture that, I don't know, goes to church on Sunday? Like what are we even talking about, bro? They went AFK!
Yeah, what are we talking about? What culture are we talking about? What culture is this? Drug culture? Drug culture? Okay, sure. Like, yeah, if drug... I don't really think that drug culture is real, okay? I don't actually fucking believe that, but, like, if we are talking about that, then fine. Okay, drug culture is bad or whatever. But like what are you saying? This is like, you're not calling this drug culture. You're calling this like communism or whatever. You're saying that this is like what Democrats want. That's what you wouldn't fucking shut up about it yesterday. Like, oh, Democrats, they love drugs. They want everyone to be on drugs. It's so fucking stupid, dude. Like, be specific. It's
In
like I
real
always say,
time.
I don't
be
understand,
fucking
like, the mindset that
specific.
people have, but if you see something like this and you think to yourself, this is fine, fucking living corpses sitting around in a fucking public park, there needs to be involuntary commitment. Yeah, no, I think so. The issue is that it just keeps happening in general and people put up with it. That's really where
my
things are
God,
going. That's really where
dude.
the problem is.
No,
Yes.
involuntary commitment is a terrible idea. It is such a dog shit idea, and it doesn't fucking work. It doesn't work. It has never worked. There are other countries who have actually solved this problem with using institutions. They have used institutions to solve the problem. What institutions? Fucking injection clinics. Okay, clinics that will inject you with heroin if you are addicted to heroin or whatever drug. Okay, and they wean you off of it, and they give it to you safely. They administer it to you safely. Okay, that's it. That is what helps people. That is what helps people. Injection clinics and like giving people the means to survive, you know, and not like starve to death because they didn't get a job at McDonald's.
You're not wrong. Now, I do think
So
that
fucking
the
dumb.
solution is jail. Okay, jail and asylums. I think
Even if you have a job at McDonald's, you still can't afford to live, by the way.
Now, the reason why I want to mention this is, I think, in my opinion, if there is a culture like this in the United States, it needs to be fixed. Because, in my opinion, this is not Western values. This is not Western culture. This is fucking demonic shit. Now, not everyone feels this way. Let me introduce you to the internet's largest cuck icons.
Look, not everything is a culture. Not everything is a fucking culture, okay? Like, people being on drugs isn't culture, you dumb fuck. Culture is like what the fuck is culture? I'm trying to like think of I'm trying to think of a concise definition of it. We could just look it up, okay? We could just look it up and let's see if this fits, okay? Arts, beliefs, customs, institutions, and other products of human work thought to be considered as a unit, regarded to a particular time or social group. So, like, when I think of culture, I think of, like, ethnic backgrounds. I think of maybe nationalities. You know, we have, like, American culture, but then we also have Hispanic culture. And then there's even, like, Canadian culture for some reason. I don't know. I don't know. You know what I'm saying, okay? What the fuck is the culture of drug users? Or like, what... it blows my fucking mind. I don't know.
He decided to make a
Let's
stream
keep
where he was
going.
attacking his own viewers for being racist. Now, again, they'll call you racist, but they won't call you wrong, okay? I'll be real. This is why I am actually going crazy here, and that's why I am going to stand up. I am going to stand up for my...
I think that if somebody is calling you racist, it is self-evident that they are calling you wrong.
values,
Okay, that's it.
My values. Which are, that some cultures are worse than others. They are! It's a real thing, and you have to wake up and notice it, okay?
I'm superior. My culture is superior to others. It is.
It's a real thing.
And anyway, iDubbbz comes
It's
out
real,
with
it's
pattern
real.
recognition. Uh-oh, let's see this.
Yo, I mean, oh my gosh, this one. This person says, here in Italy, many of my friends have been robbed, assaulted, and it's been by North African immigrants each time. But I guess the smug Californian has ruled that drawing any kind of conclusion from that is wrong. It is wrong.
So, good news, great news, iDubbbz, a man with absolutely zero moral foundation and absolutely no ethical framework to his life, decides that somebody who was robbed does not have the right to feel the way they do. Now, I'll be real. Italy.
What are-
and
what are
all
your
of Europe,
grounds
to be
for
honest, is having
saying
a bit of a
that?
culture shock.
Evidence?
They also decided to have this leftoid mentality of how every fucking culture is the same. And so what they did was they invited people that do not have the same culture as they do. They invited people that
He said this yesterday too, and I'm not gonna like go in depth again, but basically nobody is saying that. Nobody is fucking saying that. It's a straw man. This is just a straw man argument, and not even a good one. Okay, not at all. Not even close to like steel manning. Like sometimes the lines can be blurred between straw man and steel man. Okay, this is like not even close. Not even close. So fucking stupid. Okay, like what the fuck are you even saying right now?
that don't see any problem.
Leftists are dumb, and they're
Surprise,
saying
surprise,
what
shock,
I
shock, people
think
getting
they're
raped and
saying
robbed in
always.
Europe. So people in Europe are starting to fucking notice this shit.
Fuck
They
you.
want a Trump immediately. And so
No, they're not just starting to notice it. Okay, Europeans have been racist for a long time. Okay, they've been just as racist as we have. Okay, I will stand on this. They did. The Europeans, specifically Germans, did the fucking Holocaust, man. Like, they are racist. Okay, that like they have been. Okay, they've had their own problems, and I get that I think what he's trying to say here is that like the vibes of Europe is progressive. Okay, and that's somewhat accurate, somewhat. But like racism has never left Europe. It's still around. They arrested like a year and a half ago. I've been talking about this. I don't even know how many fucking times I've paraded this fact. Multiple thousands of Polizei, of German police officers, were arrested for being Nazis because they had Nazi affiliations, and that's illegal in Germany. So they fucking arrested them. It's crazy.
You know, we have iDubbbz over
It's
here.
crazy.
Cushy fucking house in California, whatever the fuck, is gonna sit here and morally grandstand to tell you about how you're being racist. You're gonna be racist if you notice pattern recognition.
It is racist and fucking weird.
You're weird.
Just to be clear, iDubbbz, I don't think he's got a lot of money. I mean, I don't know. I could be wrong. But like, and like in the past, sure. But when you live in LA, that shit goes quickly. Okay, and that's why, like think about it. A guy like iDubbbz, if he like got set up for life, he would just leave. He would just stop making content. Okay, like that's why people like him keep doing this shit. I think. And that's not to say he doesn't have real moral convictions. I think he does somewhat, but yeah, I mean, I think I certainly feel like I'm kind of similar to him, and if I were him, and I made a shit ton of money, I'd just fuck off. I go live out in the woods somewhere. But anyway, I don't know. He's just like, he was very popular. I'm sure he made a lot of money back then, but living in California, that's gonna, drain pretty quickly. And then, like, what has he been doing since then to make money? Like, has he really had any, like, big money-making moments in his career since, like, 2016, 2017? I don't really think so. I don't know.
You're weird and racist. I'm saying from my glass house, you're weird and racist.
Yeah, because
Bro's married to a whore, by the way. Speaking of values.
it's not happening to you.
By the way, just so we're clear, iDubbbz never went to Italy once in his life.
There's a wide variety of markets in Italy, from what I've seen. As someone who hasn't even been there, I went to a lot of places virtually on GeoGuessr. I've been to a lot of places in Italy.
He was places in Italy, and he decided, well, you're just racist.
iDubbbz is going to have this opinion because he can afford to.
Okay, so I actually I know what he's talking about here, and I've seen the video, so I do have the context in my mind, but I didn't react to it on stream. Okay, what iDubbbz is talking about is there was a guy who was in Italy, and he went to like a farmer's market type marketplace, lots of fresh food and vegetables and whatnot, and he has his camera out, and he said, wow, this place looks like Bangladesh. He was like, look at all these brown people, ew. Okay, and iDubbbz saw this video, and like iDubbbz is not a particularly smart man. He does not have an expansive vocabulary, but he sees this and he's like, this shit is racist, and he starts articulating as to why he thinks it's racist and why it is racist. Okay, because you're looking at a room full of brown people, and you're like, wow, this looks like Bangladesh, this doesn't even look like Europe. And it's like, so what, you want everyone to be white, blonde hair, blue-eyed, Aryan master race, you fucking racist? Like, what the fuck are we talking about? And anyway, he did that, iDubbbz said this, and people have just been dogging him for it. No, he wasn't being racist, he was just saying that, like, it looks like this other country because there's all these brown people, and it's like, okay, like, what is wrong with that? What is the problem with there being brown people? First of all, you're at a farmer's market. Okay, guess what? A lot of immigrants work in farmers markets, in like fields, producing the food that is sold at these farmers markets. It's not a weird thing. It's not weird. You can't just make a video being like, oh, look at all these disgusting people of color here, and then be like, oh, why is everybody calling me racist? Like, I'm not racist. Like,
You
what?
talk about things you definitely don't know.
I
or
just
not
want
to
Europe to
understand.
be white
No,
again.
I know everything about Italy. No, dude, it takes 2 seconds to fucking Google.
So the guy living in California is shutting down Italians in his own comment section because he recognized patterns on Google.
Yeah, if you're because they recognize patterns. Yeah, noticing. Yeah, look, people who are from Europe are sometimes racist, and when you are racist, I hear it, I'm gonna be like, that's racist. And if you want to argue with me about it, then we can argue about it. Okay, but like, that's just what I'm gonna do. Like, if you see something, like, I'm a political commentator, and iDubbbz kind of is now too, a little bit. And if you say some racist shit, I'm gonna be like, that I think that is racist, and here's why. And then you can argue with me. You can argue with me about it if you really want to. But like, anyway, like, it doesn't matter what fucking country you're from. It doesn't matter if you're from a country I've never been to. Guess what? I've never been to any country other than the United States of America. I've never been to any country at all other than the United States of America. And still, if you are from fucking Ecuador and you're a racist, I will tell you what I think. If you are from fucking Canada and you're racist, from Vuvuzela, if you're from Africa, I don't care. If you're a racist, you're a racist. That's how I see it. It's very black and white. Very black and white. No pun
It's not only
intended.
that, by the way, because this is a known fact. It is a known fact that crime is increasing to the point that they're banning ninja swords in England. All right. There is a reason why we're talking about this. There's a reason why people are noticing about this, and there's a reason why people are saying this.
No, that's not why they're banning swords in England. Okay, they're banning swords in England, and the crime is just an excuse. Okay, the real reason they're banning swords in England is to just like control the population more. Okay, like like taking their weapons away. Which, that's a UK moment. Okay, they've been doing that, and anyway, I've said this before. I think that this is going to be my most libertarian take that I think that I'll ever have, and that is that we shouldn't ban guns. We shouldn't limit the Second Amendment more. I don't think we should. I think we should have more fucking weapons. Okay, because it's not the weapons that are like the weapons only facilitate the murder. Okay, I recognize that. I recognize that the guns play a part in these mass shootings, which is the like main argument for taking away people's Second Amendment right is all these mass shootings that are happening. But and like banning guns would like let's say like we take the nuclear option and completely ban guns in America, which wouldn't logistically work, but let's say that we did and we could and blah blah blah. Like people are still going to go out and kill and try to kill multiple people, and they won't be able to kill as many, and that that matters. That is that's like real. But what I'm saying is you're not addressing the root of the problem, okay? The problem is that people want to go out and murder dozens or as many people as they can. That's the problem. It's not that they can get access to a gun. Obviously, they shouldn't be able to get access to a gun, but like you can't stop it. Like Republicans are right when they say that you can't stop criminals from obtaining firearms. It's just too easy. There's so many fucking firearms. And so we can either ban firearms or we can try to remove the conditions from our country that cause people to do this in the first place. Which, by the way, the narrative I've been spinning here this entire time is that it's poverty. It is material conditions that cause this. It is wealth disparity. People are frustrated. They don't know what to do, and they get bored, and, or whatever, I don't know, they become disillusioned, and then they want to go kill. Okay, but the point is that it is the material conditions that cause this. That is what we need to solve if we are to stop it.
It's not automatically racist unless you are a libtard cucked fuck that literally just wants the correct opinion to virtue signal to your audience. And realistically, that's what you're doing. Okay? That is what you're doing right now. You're doing pandering, virtue signaling garbage. absolute garbage, just to show how you are morally superior to the people that are literally having their family members raped and stabbed, okay? Like, oh, we don't care, okay? We do not care about you and your stupid, fake, flimsy morals.
That you're a pattern recognizer is not racist.
Yeah, how dare you not hate brown people because this happens sometimes? Like, why?
Well, there is the selfishness
All right,
and
man.
the performative altruism that leftist people like this have. To them, it costs them nothing to virtue signal, but it costs other people potentially their lives. Luxury beliefs, yes, it's a luxury belief. This is something that people can believe in because they can afford to.
Oh, this I also love. Let an undocumented immigrant move in with you. It's like, change the undocumented immigrant part to fucking a stranger. Let a stranger move in with you. Yeah, still don't like it, bro.
It's easy for somebody in a
Wow,
gay
so
community
brave.
to call you a racist and say that you're stupid, and you can see how gleeful and happy he is patronizing a person who's being terrorized by North African migrants, and meanwhile he's sitting in some probably $1 million house enjoying the comforts of a first world country. And I think it's very frustrating for people to see that from somebody like IDubbbz.
Absolutely.
It's very obnoxious.
Let an undocumented immigrant move in with you.
No. Yeah. So whenever you see
You're stupid.
whenever you see
And you
shit
can
like this, it's just the obvious virtue signal. And again, it's coming from this really annoying, like far left, like
How
leftoid.
is that virtue signaling? I understand that. I understand the argument here that he's virtue signaling. I don't understand how that comment specifically is virtue signaling at all. Like he was just saying, like, no, I'm not gonna. Like it's a stupid argument, by the way, to say like, oh well, why don't you let them move in with you? It's like the same type of thing where like, oh, why don't you if you don't like the country, why don't you just leave? Why don't you just move away? And it's like, because that's not the fucking point, dude. That it's not like of course I'm not gonna leave the country, and of course I'm not gonna let a person that I don't know move in with me. That it's not an argument. It's not a fucking argument. You're like sidestepping IDubbbz's points here by like trying to own him by telling him, hey, like, why don't you just like get murdered by a stranger? Why not?
Bottom
You know?
line perspective of every person is the same. Cultures don't impact people whatsoever. It makes no difference. You're just racist. If you are noticing the suspicious pattern that North African migrants are, committing the by far largest amount of rapes, that's probably because you're racist and not the reality. Because all people are actually the same. So you can move back to your boyfriend's house and maybe rethink the video that you want to make, bro. Because this is absolutely fucking abominable. It really is. And I think we need to call it out. Because while he's getting blasted by Asmongold right now, I think a lot of people don't know that this is real life. Okay, a lot of people don't know that this is literally real life that's happening everywhere in the world, mostly in Europe at this point. But a lot of people don't realize and don't want to recognize the fact that, yes, not all cultures are equal, and that doesn't make you racist. That makes you awake. That makes you having a pulse, okay? Literally, absolutely fuck yourself and your fake ideals and fake morals that you virtue signal from your glass house as some libtard fuck, lecturing everyone. Now, this is a lot of a European problem, but it's an American problem. And I wanted to do this specifically to talk about America. Specifically, I talked about this, I wanted to follow up. I talked about this a little bit ago, a couple of weeks ago. This is a Somalian man. He looks like a zombie that came out of fucking Call of Duty, all right? This dude was arrested for attempting to kidnap an 11-year-old and also had a past history of rape and shit, allegedly. So this is a while ago, right? This was July 17th, all right? So this was a while ago. Colorado DA's office will drop some of the charges against Solomon Galligan, the registered sex offender arrested for attempting to kidnap an 11-year-old boy during recess from an elementary school. Following the arrest, Galligan was found to be incompetent after he underwent a competency evaluation, resulting in the DA's plan to drop the charges. So this dude is a registered sex offender that was on the streets, because of course if you can't ever arrest these people or you're racist, you don't want to ever be racist. So, all right, so they let him out, even though he's a registered sex offender. He tried to kidnap an 11-year-old. They stopped him. They arrested him again, and they let him out again. This is absolutely insufferable. Now, I know what you're thinking, Nux. Why are you being racist towards Somalians? Why are you being racist towards Somalians? This is not right. Okay, maybe it's an individual. Hold your horses, all right? When I'm racist, I'm racist for the good reasons only. Now, this was a couple weeks ago. Yesterday, they dropped all of the charges. Not just that one, but all of them. Update, Colorado's DA office officially dropped all charges against Solomon Galligan, the registered sex offender arrested for attempting to kidnap an 11-year-old boy during recess from an elementary school. Galligan is now being treated at the Colorado Mental Health Hospital for mental health issues, but likely to be released.
Yes, man. There are rapists from Somalia. There are rapists from Europe. There are rapists from America. There are rapists everywhere. Okay, they exist in every culture, in every superior culture that you think is superior. There are rapists. Okay, it's not indicative of their culture, like creating rape. There are lots of Somalian people who are just normal. There are lots of Somalian immigrants who come here or that go to Europe, and they're just normal people, like you and me. That's the point. It's not that the culture is the same. It's not that they're exactly the fucking same. It's just that it doesn't produce the outcome necessarily that you are looking for here.
Burritos and
That's
apples.
it.
Therefore, he is basically out on the streets again. Now, I'll be real with you. This is fucking insane. This is literally insane. This is absolutely fucking crazy. This is not someone that should be walking the streets. I would not at all feel comfortable if that was the case. But they don't want you to be racist. So they're going to tell you, listen, guys, if we arrest him, that's racist. Now, I'm going to look this up because I don't know if this is true. All right, I don't know if this is true. What's the average... Someone told me this. IQ in... you know what? We'll do it this way. In America, what is the average IQ of a retard? All right, we'll do it this way. I'm just curious, bro. All right, what's the average IQ of a retard? All right, let's go. All right, so retard is outdated and offensive. Only retards think like that. It's an IQ below 70. All right, now I'm about to do something that's going to be deemed as racist. All right, what's the average IQ? There's no way it's that low in Somalia. There's no way it's that low, right? Estimates are disputed, ranging from 68 to 92 across different studies. A 2019 study reported the average IQ of 68. That's fucking crazy, dude. I'm not gonna lie. That's fucking insane. That's fucking crazy. I don't know, bro. That's fucking crazy. Holy fucking shit. So yeah. So according to this study, which could be false, not
Yeah,
according to
owned.
this study, the average Somalian is considered a retard in America. I don't think that's true. That's fucking insane.
So IQ, for those of you that don't know, is antiquated. It is like not. It just isn't an apt measure of intelligence, and it never has been. It was an idea that they came up with in what, like the 60s, I think, or maybe before then. I feel like it cropped up around the time of like modern psychology, like Sigmund Freud. I could be wrong about that, but anyway, it doesn't really fucking matter because it's not useful. It's not a useful measure of anything at all. Okay, IQ doesn't tell me whether you are a smart person or not. It just doesn't. It just fucking doesn't.
I can't believe that. I'm literally in shock. Someone in my chat told me that I didn't believe you, so I wanted to check it out. Oh my god, there's no fucking way. Anyway, I'll be real. Yeah, we have a problem. We have a problem here. And the problem is the virtue signaling bullshit. It literally is. It is the absolute virtue signaling bullshit, making believe all cultures are equal. It's no problem at all. You are the racist if you think that cultures aren't all equal. Even though you have, like, let's say in Egypt, where 99% of women in Egypt, by the way, this is a real stat, 99% of women in Egypt say they were sexually assaulted. 99%. So you're gonna tell me that every culture is equal? Like, what are we even doing? It's not true. Wake up. Literally wake up. It is a lie that they are telling you because they don't want you to think that people are different based on their upbringing, based on their ethics, based on their values. Okay, fuck that shit. It's over. We have to wake up and realize that reality might not be very nice, but unfortunate, it is what it is, alright? So get the fuck up, put on your big boy pants, one nipple at a time like everybody else, and welcome to real life, where apparently it's racist to state facts. Alright? That's pretty great. That's pretty great. So anyway, Matt Walsh made a video about this Somalia thing. So let's see what we got.
With this letter, the Somali community in Minnesota is acknowledging that by their own words. They don't have that level of moral awareness, which means quite simply that they don't have any business being in this country. They should be deported, and their temporary protected status, which has gone on for 34 years, should be immediately rescinded. More than any other failed state in Africa, Somalia has been in the news a lot lately. First, several Somalis were convicted in a $250 million scheme to defraud U.S. taxpayers by claiming they cooked meals for children when they were really buying sports cars.
No way. No way! Oh my god! Dude, I don't understand. Listen, man, we're America, alright? We're letting immigrants come in, alright? We're letting immigrants come in. Shouldn't we try to take the best people, like, for our country, bro? Like, why are we doing this?
Then several Somali politicians in the U.S., including Ilhan Omar, announced that they're working on behalf of Somali interests, not America's. Then a Somali man in a playground in Minnesota harassed a woman named Shiloh Hendricks and her 18-year-old child, prompting the woman to drop the N-bomb heard around the world.
That's true. That was a Somalian also. A Somalian youth, as some would even say. Yeah, no, but there are all these clips of, like, let me see if I can find that Ilhan Omar clip. Oh my god. I'm a proud Guatemalan before an American. Democrat Representative Delia Ramirez. Sleep in comfort knowing that I'm here to protect the interests of Somalia from inside the U.S. Democratic Representative Ilhan Omar. Like, bro, these people shouldn't be American representatives! What are we doing? Oh my god, I found the actual clip.
Yeah, we should only have representatives that want to protect the interest of Israel. Only the foreign entities that I like, says Nuxtaku.
Yeah, I'm not listening to all that. Anyway,
Not the evil brown country, Somalia.
I am here to protect the interests of Somalia from within the U.S. system. That should not be the goal. It literally should not be the goal. Oh my god, can you believe that there are some Jews that are Israel first? When you have, like, these people are actually fucking saying this shit? By the way, for the record, I want to make this very clear. I don't think that any person that puts any country over America should be serving in Congress. By the way, I want to make this clear. I don't care what.
Well, man, that's all of them, okay? That is fucking all of them, and you advocate for this shit, whether you know it or not. Which, I suspect he does know it, okay? And keep in mind, he wasn't saying shit like this, like, before... But, like, once again, before the Epstein shit, okay? Before the Epstein shit and the Iran, and the bombs in Iran, okay? He wasn't saying shit like this. And my point is that the reason he's switched, and now he's saying, like, oh, like, we shouldn't have, like, Israel first politicians either, is because people in America are starting to, like, say things like, oh, Like, why are we defending Israel? Why is it Israel number one? Why are we doing this? And so all these fucking right-wing commentators are starting to say that now. They are reading the room because there is overwhelming negative sentiment surrounding Israel, and specifically surrounding our politicians that continue to support Israel despite the public not wanting them to.
Somalia,
Anyway.
or if it's Guatemala, or if it's Israel. I don't give a shit, all right? If your politics are Palestine before America, fuck you. You should not be in office in America, all right? It doesn't matter what country, where it is. It's literally basic logic. It's insane. Now, anyway, let's see what we got. So you married your brother, according to my chat. Nice.
Then to cap it all off, the Democrat Party endorsed a Somali socialist to be the next mayor of Minneapolis. And at the moment, he appears to be probably the frontrunner. So it's safe to say that 3 decades after the U.S. government determined that Somalis deserve temporary protected status in this country as refugees from their own dysfunctional governance, a temporary status that has never been revoked, Somalis are dominating our news cycle and some of our major elections as well. And yet, for all the ways that Somalis have found their way into our national discourse in recent months, there's one fundamental question that has remained unanswered. What exactly are all these Somalis doing in the country?
What a fantastic question. What are they doing here? Well, I mean, maybe they're here to enhance America. Because last I checked, what I was told by my favorite Democrats in office is that other cultures are enhancing America. All right, they're here to make America even better. Oh, they're really improving America as a country, probably, with their rich cultures.
No, they're not here to do that. They are here to escape from their home country where they may have been persecuted, where they may have been escaping violence, or maybe they are here for their own self-interest. But that's not the point. When people say stuff like that, what they're saying is that immigrants are good for the country. Whether they're trying to be good for the country or not, overall, they just are. Okay? They add to our economy. They help our economy grow. Immigrants have always been the strong backbone of America. Always. They always have been. There's a reason that Republicans used to say we're a nation of immigrants. It's because it's fucking true. It's fucking true. And even though they never really, they don't always like immigrants, Republicans have historically acknowledged that immigrants help our economy grow. They help us make the money. They help us make the big bucks because of their cheap labor. Because of their cheap labor and their, hard-working, vigor, their work ethic. That's it. Now you're seeing that change. Now you're seeing that 180. Okay, people in the Republican Party are now saying that immigrants are evil. They're all evil. We have to get rid of them. We need less immigrants. That is a dangerous thing. It's dangerous because it will fucking wreck our economy. And it is wrecking our economy, and it will continue to. And I think that that's what they want. Okay, that's all part of the plan.
We're told that if we draw any general conclusions about Somalis, Somali culture, based on the observable behavior of Somalis, then we're bigots.
True.
We're not allowed to inquire into their motives in any way. But despite all the deflection, no one has ever explained in any affirmative way
Diversity is our strength. How could you say this, Matt Walsh?
what Somalis actually care about. What's their culture all about? This culture.
Bro, they are 68 IQ doctors and engineers. Okay, how dare you even ask these questions? Now, again, I'm not gonna lie. Hating anyone on an individual level is absolutely racist. Recognizing a pattern is a sign that you are a walking human being that's not afraid of your own shadow. Okay, this is crazy.
So that we're importing into this country en masse. What core principle would they defend in large numbers if it ever came under attack? We know based on the candidates they elect that Somalis wouldn't defend the Constitution or the freedom of speech or freedom of association. So what's their motivation? Aside from draining the U.S. Treasury, what single issue really matters to them? Regardless of how often I've asked this question, directly or indirectly, I've never received a response, but suddenly, and somewhat unexpectedly, that's all changed now, thanks to a court case in Minnesota involving a Somali man named Kalinal Ibrahim Diri. Now the mystery is over. Yes, as part of this criminal proceeding, the Somali community in the state of Minnesota has just revealed what they're truly passionate about. And their answer, in rather unambiguous terms, is that they're passionate, apparently, about the right of men to sexually abuse and torment other people's children.
What?
This is the culture they're defending. This is what they're willing to excuse, and there's no debating this. They went to court and made their voices very clear. Let's start with the specifics of this case.
Wait. What? I hope he has evidence, bro. Oh my god, dude.
Local news in Minnesota won't really talk about it for obvious reasons, so instead of playing a clip, I'll
Matt
summarize
Walsh
the background myself. 42-year-old Kalinal was born in Somalia, spent several years in refugee camps in Kenya. He arrived in the United States in 2006.
Okay.
He worked as a driver for Uber and Lyft most of the time. In 2024, Kalinal was in Minneapolis when he noticed that a 12-year-old girl was playing in her backyard alone.
Oh, God.
So he parked his Toyota in an alley outside and asked if the girl's mother was at home. She said no. Short time later, the man put his hand over the girl's mouth, hit her head to the point that she became dizzy and disoriented, drove her a short distance away, and sexually assaulted her in a manner that is too graphic to describe on the show.
Holy shit, dude. Oh, my God. That's fucking horrible. Someone in my chat just said the Somalians improved my neighborhood. Yeah, I'll be real. I don't believe you. But this is crazy. That's horrible. That's
Of course you don't.
But now, again, to be real, I'll be honest and real. You can't make a decision about an entire
Somalians are only evil.
This
They are always
evil.
evil.
That should be fed into a wood chipper, and it's a completely indefensible thing that every single Somalian voice in the country should immediately get up and disavow. Literally every time. However, I have a feeling that's not going to be the case. I have a feeling that is not going to be the case. Now, realistically,
Yeah, because they all love it. They all love child rape. They all love it.
Hypothetically,
Yeah, man.
there's a culture that thinks raping children is not actually so bad. Those people in your neighborhood would not enhance the neighborhood. They won't. It's just basic logic, the most basic logic of all time. And obviously that is the case. Now, obviously, you'll be called a racist if you repeat what I say, so therefore, take it from me, definitely subscribe. But this is crazy.
5 days later, the child told a school counselor about the attack. The next month, as police investigated, the girl's parents discovered that the man was still calling their daughter and sending her text messages. He was saying things like, quote, "Hey, beautiful, I miss you. When can I see you again?"
Bro.
The parents pretended to be their daughters to lure the man back, and when he arrived at the home, they held him there until police arrived. Once arrested, the man didn't display any form of contrition. He claimed that he thought the girl was 19 years old.
Oh, get out of here! Oh, my bleeding butthole. There is no way. Oh, come on, dude. What are we, 12-year-old?
Which apparently would make it okay to abduct her. He criticized the mother. He continued to fight the charges until he was convicted of first-degree criminal sexual
Bro, how do you admit to this and then fight the charges, bro?
conduct in May of this year. Now, based on this series of events, which again is as sanitized as I can make it for the purposes of this show, but based on all this, any community or culture with decency or morality would make it very clear that Colonel does not represent them. They wouldn't make excuses for him. They certainly wouldn't minimize what he had done. Instead, they would recognize his behavior as unspeakably evil. And if
that's what you'd think. Like, for example, realistically, if there was a Christian man that ended up being a pedophile, I would expect every Christian on the planet to show up and condemn that Christian pedophile. Just like if there's a Jewish...
What? Okay. Why don't they do that then? Why not? Like, I don't understand. Like, what are you saying? Like, that because he's either saying that that is what happens when there is a Christian pedophile, like a high-ranking Christian in the church, that people do that, which they don't. Or he's saying that Christians are never pedophiles, which is also incorrect. Okay, there are lots of instances of Christians being pedophiles. Look at the Catholic Church. Okay, here's what happens to the Catholic Church. Priest does pedophilia. He does that. And then they move him to a new church. They relocate him. Okay, when the church is made aware of these things, they relocate them. They protect them. Okay, they protect them so that it doesn't come out, so that the truth doesn't come out and harms the church. They've been doing this for decades. They've been doing that shit. Okay, so no, Christians don't do that. Okay, we don't all get up and disavow child rapists. Like we just don't. The fuck are you talking about?
Every Jew I know shows up to say that pedophile is fucking disgusting and should be fed foot first into a wood chipper. All right,
Okay.
That's what any normal developed culture would do. There would be no defending it. Absolutely no defending it in any normal way. Oh God.
they said anything to him at all, they'd urge him to repent for the acts of horror that he committed, rather than continue to dodge accountability as he's been doing. But that is not how the Somali community in Minneapolis has responded.
Ain't no way. No way.
Instead, as Alpha News first reported, the Al Hissan Islamic Center in St. Paul submitted a community letter of support.
Oh my God. There's no fucking way. And they fucking put their letterhead on it and everything. The Islamic Community Center. Like, I mean, let's be real, dude. Let's be real. So some of the holy scriptures, all right, are a little sussy-wussy. All right, to put it bluntly. I'll be real. Oh my God.
For this man, addressed to the judge in the case. Now, I'm going to read directly from this letter because it answers any and all questions you might have about Somali culture and the Somali community in the United States. So this is them speaking for themselves. Here's what they wrote. Quote, "We, the undersigned members of the Somali community, write this letter to express our strong and heartfelt support for Diri, a member of our community. Many of us first met Kalynal through our shared journey as Somali refugees, arriving in this country with little more than hope and determination to rebuild our lives. Like so many of us, Kalynal has faced the challenge of starting over in a new culture, learning English, adjusting to a fast-paced system, and raising children in an environment far different from the one he grew up in. Before the situation, Kalynal was known as a devoted family man and an outgoing person. Despite the financial pressures of life in the U.S., Kalynal also still managed to support needy family members back in Somalia. The situation Kalynal is currently facing comes as a deep shock to all of us."
Bro, I am in actual shock. I am in actual shock. And the fact that they thought it was a good idea to do this, the fact that they thought it was a good idea to release this is absolutely shocking. I don't even know what to say. Like, they really earned that 68 IQ, goddammit. They earned that 68 IQ. Oh my lord. So not only do they support the act of raping a 12-year-old girl, however, they thought it was so they broadcasted it. Oh my god. I'm actually in shock. For those of you that are unaware, there was a Pakistani grooming gang in England that was raping white children, all right? Essentially, essentially one of the arguments that they made is they would go after white children because it's permitted. It's permitted. So yeah, that's a real thing, by the way. I'm not even joking. That was one of the
No,
arguments that
it's
was made
not a
actually
real
in the previous
thing.
video.
It's not a
Like,
fucking real
hell,
thing.
dude. So yeah, it turns out not all cultures are the same. I ended up triggering this one history teacher, okay? All right? No one cares about random nux, tangents, and lore. But I ended up triggering this random history teacher, okay? 'Cause
I triggered a history teacher. Okay. I wonder why. I wonder why the history teacher had a problem with what you were saying. Yeah, I'm sure it's because they're like woke or whatever, and not because they're a person that fucking studies history.
teacher decided that it was important to make this video talking about the Inca tribe. How they were so, how their culture was so good, because look at these rocks.
You were telling me the Spanish looked at this and said uncivilized. The Inca built the Morai terraces as an agricultural laboratory because each separate circle created a different microclimate so they could figure out exactly what to grow at what elevation. The Inca who cultivated 44 types of corn and 4,000 types of potatoes. The Inca who built this stuff 600 years ago and it is still standing because it's all earthquake proof. The Inca who created salt flats that still to this day aren't privatized. They're all sharing it from the same hot spring in the mountain and everyone gets a share. Not to mention Coricancha, Machu Picchu, the fact that all of their cities were made intentionally in the shapes of animals that were important to them. This reminds me of exactly what happened in Tenochtitlan. When Cortez laid eyes on that city for the first time, he wrote in his diary that the temples were grander than anything he would have seen in Sevilla. Yeah, you're telling me the Spanish saw this and they said, nah, inferior.
Based Spanish. Based Spanish. They literally did child sacrifices. Okay? The Inca did child sacrifices when they wanted rain. Okay? Yes, they are inferior. They were. They're gone. They were inferior. They were. Yes, absolutely. Am I saying they should all be?
You act like the Spanish didn't kill children as well. The fuck are you talking about? Like, that's what makes them inferior, is the child sacrifices? Bro, this was like hundreds of years ago. Yeah, I'm not saying that, like, it's okay to sacrifice children just because it was, like, way back then. But, like, that was just kind of normal. Okay, it wasn't just their culture. It wasn't just their evil culture. Okay, like, we're talking about the fucking Spanish. They literally enslaved people. They literally enslaved children. They killed children too. They also killed children. They didn't do it in, like, ritualistic sacrifices, to my knowledge. But, like, it doesn't fucking matter, because at the end of the day, you're still killing children.
Brutally murdered and executed, of course.
What the fuck are we talking about?
God and all that. They are an inferior culture. Yes, they sacrificed human sacrifices, bro. What are we talking about?
Man.
So of course you responded. It was amazing response.
So I'm specifically talking about the Inca here. We're not talking about the Mexica. That's a whole separate type of sacrifice. If we're just looking at Tawantinsuyu, the Quechua people of the Incan Empire, they practiced sacrifices like most other civilizations throughout history did in times of crisis. So
not Jewish civilizations or Christian
and
civilizations.
that's true, and it depends on the time period. Okay, the time period is like when there were times of drought, of food insecurity within these civilizations, within these societies. That is when they started kicking the sacrifices into high gear. Okay, and anyway, like many societies throughout human history have done that. Okay, because they didn't fucking understand why the crops weren't growing or why it wasn't raining. Okay, they just like thought it was their god angry at them. So they sacrificed people. That's it. And anyway, I want to replay this because he said something here just now. I kind of missed it. I kind of skipped
like
over it.
most other civilizations throughout history did in times of crisis. So
not Jewish civilizations.
Not Jewish people. Not the Christians. Not the Jews. Yeah, man. Jews and Christians famously never killed any innocent people ever at all on a systemic level. No, man. First of all, America is a country that was founded on chattel slavery, and it was founded on Christian values as well. That is something that I acknowledge. While it's not a part of our government, we are a secular nation. The founding fathers were like somewhat Christian. They were Unitarians, whatever. I'm not going to get into all that right now, but like basically, what Christianity was in fact used to support the existence of chattel slavery. Like, you can't just say that, like, oh, Christians are like the good guys and Jews are the good guys and like they've never done anything bad, and like every other culture is inferior. What the fuck is wrong with you? What the
or
goddamn
Christian
are you going on about? What the hell?
None of those ever did human sacrifice ever. Actually, it turns out I think that's a pretty good line in the sand for what makes cultures better than others, though. I'll be real.
So famine, natural disasters. But the unique thing about the
It's not.
Quechua is that when you're looking at like the Incan civilization, you essentially have the elites and then you have everyone else. Sacrifices were volunteers from the elite class.
Oh, the elites convinced their children to volunteer to sacrifice themselves. Bro, this changed the game.
They believed that the elites were closer to the gods and could therefore appease them better. Also, in terms of sacrifice, they were kind about it. Hear me out.
They were kind about their human sacrifices, guys.
Unlike the Mexica, when you're like ripping out a still beating heart out of someone's chest, the Inca would intentionally use coca leaves and would use chicha and would drug up the sacrifice and then leave them on a mountain, a cold, chilly mountain, to be exposed to the elements. Which, if you're a volunteer sacrifice where you're heavily drugged before you die, also, I mean,
still fucking inferior. All right, what do you want me to say? What is this argument?
I can equate human sacrifice throughout history to so many things. And I think the fact that a lot of people are commenting, oh, but the sacrifice is, again, indicative of the fact that you have received a quite right...
Yeah, I mean, look, this is a very, like, history teacher moment contextualizing this. I don't think it is, like, a great argument to be like, oh, like, well, like, the sacrifices weren't that bad. Like, dude, it's just... that's not the point, okay? You don't need to like be like, oh, like the sacrifices actually weren't that bad, they were like really nice to them or whatever. Like no, first of all, nobody really cares, and nobody cares about this shit that much anyway. But the actual substance of the argument made by the racist, made by Nuxanor here, is that the culture is bad because they did that, and Jews and Christians and Westerners, Western cultures, never did any of that. Okay, so what you should be talking about is how cruel these Western cultures have been to people, to other people. Okay, like cruelty has existed in all civilizations, all cultures at one point or another. Okay, so the point isn't to try to like alleviate the responsibility of these ancient people, okay, and what they did. It should be to point out that these supposedly superior cultures have also exacted cruelty and brutality upon innocent people that didn't deserve it in the past as well. That's it.
Oh, you are such a white racist, thinking that it's bad when cultures sacrifice children.
Because you are knowing them for the bad things that they have done, and not all of the wonders that they accomplished.
Yeah, they did a lot of cool things. They also are an inferior fucking culture. They sacrifice their children. Fuck. Like, what do you want me to tell you? It is an inferior culture. I don't think there's anything racist in recognizing the fact that, thank God, our culture is better than that. I have everyone in my chat trying their absolute best to debunk my claim, alright? All the atheists are popping out of the little hellholes to tell me I'm wrong because of Abraham and Isaac. Oh, you mean the sacrifice that didn't happen? Yeah, there was no sacrifice. That didn't happen. Jesus was sacrificed. Jesus
but he was gonna do it, though. But he was gonna do it. He was gonna do the sacrifice. That was the point of the story. That was the point of the story, man. Is that he was going to make a human sacrifice. Okay, so how is the culture superior when he was gonna do the exact same fucking thing that you're saying is, like, terrible here? Okay, but it's just that, like, God stopped him. God stopped him before he did it. Like, okay, he was still gonna kill his child.
The intention of Pontifex, whatever the fuck his name was, that killed him. All right, what are we doing, huh? What are you? Nice try, chat. Nice try. Not once. Not a single time. Not one. What about Salem witch trials? Those were not sacrifices. They executed people they thought were witches. Not sacrifices. All right. Again, you're wrong.
And that makes it better. That makes it better that, like, oh, it wasn't like a ritualistic. I mean, it was kind of ritualistic, but it wasn't a sacrifice. Like no, you're what he's saying here is that, like, the witches were criminals and they were being punished. Okay, even though the crime wasn't, like, real, it wasn't based in reality. Or maybe he is trying to say that they were witches. I don't know. He is fucking stupid. Maybe he does actually think that they were witches. But anyway, either way, it's a stupid fucking argument because they still killed them. They still killed them, bro. First of all, they were innocent. Okay, they weren't witches. I hope you know that. But anyway, it's the same fucking thing. It doesn't matter if they thought they were witches and they were, like, doing a good thing. Like, they murdered them. They murdered them. How is that any different? How is that any different from doing a pointless ritualistic sacrifice to appease your, your Latin American god, your native Latin American god, not native Latin American. You know what I mean? Native American god. My bad. There were also like, I think there were human sacrifices up here in North America too, but, not Latin American. I'm talking. These are like indigenous populations that did this. But anyway, how the fuck is that any different? How is it any different, dude?
Anyway, the point that I'm trying to make
he's just like, no, they were the witches were criminals. That's why they executed them.
Pagans. Good point, Goat. Thank you for bringing that one up. Hell yeah, dude. Very cool. Yeah, she defends the human sacrifices because if you are a libtard in the modern era libtard, that's what it's all about. The modern era libtard needs you to think that every culture is equal inherently.
Also, if what she was saying was true about the human sacrifices, it is unironically significantly less cruel than burning witches at the stake. Because, in one example, you are drugging someone up and then leaving them on a mountain exposed to the elements and just like they die from that. Okay, where like when you're exposed to extreme cold, your nerves become what's the word, numbed. Okay, like you can't feel it. It's not like super painful. Okay, like I'm sure it's not. Obviously, it's not a pleasant experience to die of permafrost. But anyway, what I'm saying is it is significantly less cruel because we're comparing that to burning someone alive. And again, they were both for pointless reasons, for pointless, ignorant reasons. So it doesn't fucking matter.
Are inherently equal. There is no difference between any people or any upbringings or any cultures or any of that. That is literally what they do. Okay, that's crazy.
That is a letter that you might write.
Just stop saying that, man. Like please, God, I want to fucking choke you every time you say that stupid shit. Nobody is fucking saying that. Nobody is saying all cultures are the same and they're all equal or whatever. Like the only thing that leftists say when they talk about this, which like it isn't even super fucking relevant. Like this is an issue that only Republicans talk about all the fucking time about culture. Culture is all about culture. Like no, there are more things in life than just culture, man. Okay, but anyway, when leftists do talk about this, all we say is that cultures are different and all of them have good and bad things about them. There are good things in all cultures, there are bad things in all cultures. That is just reality. That is the way it is. So there really isn't any superior or inferior cultures. There are just cultures that do like some things better than other cultures and vice versa. So
if
that's
this
it.
guy
That's
had,
it.
say,
Stop
lost his license
strawmanning
because
this
he got
shit.
speeding tickets
Stop
or
it.
something, or if he got
Stop
picked up
it.
by the IRS because he didn't file his taxes.
Yo,
on
I
time.
wonder
It is not
why Nuxanor is doing straw man arguments. I wonder.
to any sane person, an
I don't
appropriate
know.
letter to write when Polino was just convicted for hitting a 12-year-old girl in the head, abducting her, sexually assaulting her, and then texting her to see when he could do it again. In no universe should an unrepentant rapist receive the strong and heartfelt support of anyone.
I agree.
Much less an entire.
He is completely correct. He is completely and utterly correct. Absolutely. Fucking hell, dude. And anyone that even supports this is someone that should honestly be on a fucking a list somewhere. It's insane.
A community of people, much less a community of people that we have invited into our home, into our
We're
country.
all on a
Nor should this
list,
community of
bro.
people
We're
repeatedly
all
refer to
in
this homosexual assault
Palantir,
as a
okay?
Situation, which is probably the single most dismissive word.
And
they
that's
could have
what you wanted.
This situation is crazy. Dude, the Pontifex Pilate situation with Jesus, that was wild. Bro, stop, bro. You can't call it a situation. Yo, remember that whole Twin Tower situation that happened on 9/11? Yeah, I heard of that situation. This is fucking crazy, man. It is insane.
And on top of that, they shouldn't brag that he's funneling money out of the U.S. economy and sending it back to Somalia. But the most revealing part of the letter is when Somalis that wrote this letter explained that Colonel, quote, has faced the challenge of starting over in a new culture.
Well, that's implying that there's something different about the cultures, isn't it?
Well, that's about as explicit as it gets. Apparently, in Somali culture, at least according to the people who wrote this
Yeah,
letter.
that would imply that, wouldn't it? It's almost like nobody is fucking saying that all culture is the same across the board, you fucking piece of shit.
Young girls alone in defense.
Yeah, what an insane thing to even include in the thing. It's like, listen, man, he didn't know better. Yes, he's a 40-year-old man that kidnapped and raped a 12-year-old, but in his defense, it's really hard. It's really hard looking at the new culture that he's a part of and trying his best to get with the grain. Bro, what the fuck are we talking about? What are we doing? The Holocaust drama is insane, guys. Like, bro, stop! This is horrible! And yes, people have to be aware of it. Absolutely! Alright? You have a dude that grew up getting used to raping 12-year-olds where he used to come from, and now he moves to your neighborhood! What the fuck do you think he's gonna do? It's unreal.
In her backyard, you can sexually assault her as much as you want. And indeed, the statistics bear that out. out, Somalia ranks as the top country in the world for sexual violence against children.
Wait, what?
Among other abuses.
Holy shit. That's crazy. That's crazy. If that's true, like, what are we doing? Literally, what are we doing? Like,
yeah, I mean, I want to see the source.
Therefore, according to this letter, we should have some sympathy for this poor guy. After all, he's just having trouble getting used to our peculiar little customs in the United States.
There ain't no way. There ain't no way. You're telling me that Somalia beats the United Kingdom on pedophilia? Is that what you're telling me? Are you fucking serious? Like, if there's any country that has the #1 spot for that, it's gotta be the UK. It's gotta
apparently
be.
Very difficult to adjust to this whole thing where we don't sexually assault children.
Yeah, true.
You know, just like it's tough to learn, say, the rules of baseball or
and anyway, even if that were true, which I highly fucking doubt it is, it's coming from fucking Matt Walsh. Like, it doesn't change anything. It changes literally nothing. Like, yeah, that doesn't mean that they're all child rapists. That doesn't mean that they all think it's okay to rape children. You racist piece of shit.
Go out to eat.
It's crazy.
It's just like that. And that's the position of this Islamic center in St. Paul. He's adjusting to our culture and having some growing pains when it comes to the whole, you know,
not raping babies thing. Yeah, that's been difficult. That's been fun. That's been tough. Listen, man, everyone has growing pains. You know, you get married, you get invited to your in-laws for the first time, and they're like, you know, things are different. You know, it's not exactly the way you grew up. It's not exactly the way you grew up. You know, that's what this guy was like, trying his best not to rape 12-year-olds. Yeah, absolutely. They are enhancing our country on a massive scale.
Actually abusing children thing. Never mind the fact that at the time of this attack, Linnell had lived in the United States for nearly 2 decades. So he had quite a bit of time to get used to our laws and customs. And more importantly, you're supposed to ignore the fact
Bro is probably walking down the street looking at all those people that aren't raping children like, these people don't know what it's really like. These people don't get the promised land, all right? These people, they don't know. They don't know what's good. Dude's walking down like a fucking gangster. All these fucking white retards that aren't raping children. Oh my god. Wow, what losers.
That regardless of where you were raised, you should know at an instinctual level that it's one of the most profound evils imaginable to assault a child.
Agreed.
It doesn't require education to know this. It doesn't require...
One thing I'll say about Nuxanor is he has quite a vivid imagination. And don't get me wrong, it's always like delusion. He always uses it to like paint this delusional picture about brown people or about immigrants. But it's interesting to see. It's interesting to see. He has a way with words.
Well, actually, I guess
he really
it does.
does.
Actually, it turns out I guess it does. I mean, look, man, all the fucking terrorist organizations in the Middle East, they all have sex slaves, like child sex slaves. All right, the Houthis, Hamas, even in Syria, they did this. They do this to Yazidi people. They did this to the Kurds. Like, it's unreal, bro. It is unreal. There are some cultures that are a little fucking, in my opinion, gross. It's just a fact. It is, and they do it, and they do it to children. And realistically, if you open your borders and you invite them in en masse, you really don't think it's gonna make it a little less safe, perhaps, for some people? Like, I think honestly, it's a weaponized ignorance that a lot of people are doing. All right, I think a lot of people are trying to weaponize this ignorance and trying to make believe that, well, all cultures are the same. That's why the media tries to hide it so much. That's why you have walking fentanyl zombie #2 over here. We have this fucking guy out of jail. All right, they don't even want to announce that they're arresting them because you might become racist. So they just release these motherfuckers. Catch and release, baby. What if they call you racist? They don't want you to realize that they're importing, honestly, you know, some kind of fucking idiots. That's why you have to wake up. That's why you absolutely have to wake up. And obviously, this isn't like an all Somalian issue. It really isn't. But it is a Somalian culture issue. It absolutely is.
Doesn't require anything but a shred of conscience. It requires having the moral awareness of a human being instead of, say, a lizard. With this letter, the Somali community in Minnesota is acknowledging that by their own words. They don't have that level of moral awareness, which means quite simply that they don't have any business being in this country. They should be deported. And their temporary protected status, which has gone
literally, why would you invite people into our country if it makes our country less safe or makes our country worse? Like, literally, why would we do this? Why the fuck would we do this?
For 34 years should be immediately rescinded.
Yeah, shout out to iDubbbz. Shout out to iDubbbz.
Because they don't make our country less safe because we live already in a like pretty dangerous country, considering that we're, you know, the richest fucking country on the planet. But anyway, also because they contribute more to our economy than any other, like, demographic, more than any other group. Immigrants contribute more to our economy than anyone. Anyone. That's it.
Is that you're racist if you notice patterns.
Releasing children is a part of the culture, then, as they're implying, and as the statistics really do bear out, then this culture should not be permitted to enter the U.S. under any circumstance.
Yeah.
Now, to be clear, I'm not cherry-picking one letter here. The Al Hassan Islamic Center in St. Paul sent this letter to the judge on behalf of the Somali community, but they weren't the only ones to voice their support for this unapologetic predator.
No.
I went looking through the documents in this case, and I found that many of this guy's family and close associates wrote letters to the judge as well.
Dude, if I had a family member, they kidnapped a 12-year-old and raped them, I would disown them immediately. There would be no... I would never talk to them ever again. I wouldn't visit them in prison. They would be dead to me. They would be fucking dead to me immediately. This is insanity. This is crazy.
And they all said the same thing. Here's how prosecutors summarized those letters in their sentencing memo to the judge. Quote, finally, defendant's family and friends do not acknowledge his actions, the impact they had on the victim, or recognize his wrongdoing. The statements show that either defendant has not told them what he is convicted of, or that they are dismissive of his crime. Family members are focused on the impact that this has had on him and his family. None of them acknowledge the victim and her family.
Bro,
while they cite that he's a person of good character, it is more likely that that this offense is a side offense they did not know about, nor do they want to know about, but quite simply, sexual assault on a child is not something a person of good character does.
Yeah, you don't say.
The victim's mother.
Listen, man, it's just not a thing we do here, all right? Like, we try our best, all right? We try, all right? All right, raping children, we try. Listen, we try, okay? It's illegal, in fact. Bro, what is going on?
Also stated that she and her family have been receiving death threats within the Somali community because of this case.
Oh my god. I'm sorry, I needed to get up. I needed to walk around for a minute. I'm in shock. I'm actually in shock. The mother of this 12-year-old who was kidnapped and raped is getting death threats from Somalians because they caused their bro to get arrested. They're like, you caused our friend to get arrested by letting your very sexy 12-year-old daughter play in her garden. What the fuck? This is nutty! It's nutty! It's actual nutty! Wood chippers, baby! What are we doing? Oh my lord!
Yes, members of the Somali community are currently threatening to murder the victim's mother.
Oh my god!
That's how they're responding to the fact that this woman...
Okay, dude, think before you sleep. Literally just messaged me something. Uh-oh. He just messaged me something. Oh god, it's Twitter. Oh fuck, what's this? I don't know if he's watching the stream. Oh no. Pakistani immigrants are demanding that Japan changes its culture to fit Islam. There's no way this is true, bro.
Oh, that's not I want to do it.
Our children are Muslim, so at kindergarten... They don't celebrate any of that stuff.
My bad.
Again, I have no problem with people, bringing parts of their culture to other
in
countries.
Japan.
That's the problem. It's the whole invade and change countries, other countries.
I said it was...
Oh my god, dude. My children are Muslim. I don't let them celebrate Japanese festivals. Instead, they take the day off from school. There's no Islam in Japan. Japan needs to become more multicultural. Why, bro? So go back. I don't understand. So go back. Why is changing the country you go to the goal? It's like you leave a shithole, okay, to go to a glorious country to turn it into a shithole. What are we doing? Oh my god.
I don't know about Japan being a glorious country. I don't know about that, man. I don't know about all that. I like Japan. I say this as I like, I'm a fan. I'm a Japan fan. But anyway, let's just keep going.
Whose daughter was brutally attacked and sexually assaulted by a member of their community. They're responding by threatening to kill the victim's mom.
Fuck, dude, that's crazy.
They're continuing to terrorize the family as a community. And by the way, at trial, Kalinal made it clear that he blames the victim's mother for what happened. Certainly doesn't blame himself. And that might seem insane to me or to any civilized person, but not to this.
Yeah, I find it pretty crazy that you blame the mom of the 12-year-old that was raped. Yeah, I find that pretty weird.
Wonderful community. Now, you can tell in that paragraph I just read that they're trying to search for some plausible reason why all of the Somalis involved in this case are defending this man. Like, to a man, they are all defending him.
That's crazy.
And he says that, well, maybe the family didn't know that side of him. And this is the kind of line that if you're a prosecutor in Minnesota, you have to include in your argument. Even in the face of overwhelming evidence that Somalis have no business in this country, prosecutors still have to pretend that we're dealing with one or two bad apples who can
That's crazy. It's like, oh, they just didn't know that he was a pedophile. Yes, they're still defending him even though he raped a child, but they didn't know. This is insane. Like people are trying so hard to be blind to the fact that
listen to what he just said, dude.
That side of him. This is the kind of line that if you're a prosecutor in Minnesota, you have to include in your argument. Even in the face of overwhelming evidence that Somalis have no business in this country, prosecutors still have to pretend that we're dealing with one or two bad apples.
Somalis have no business in this country. No, man. They do have business in this country. Literally, they do business in the country and contribute to our economy more than you ever fucking have.
Crazy. It's like, oh, they just didn't know that he was a pedophile. Yes, they're still defending him even though he raped a child, but they didn't know in their defense. What are we doing? What are we fucking doing, bro? This is insane. Like people are trying so hard to be blind to the fact that cultures are different, and some cultures are better and worse than others, that they are literally inviting people into our country to rape our children. What are we doing? Like, literally, what are we doing? And you know what? I'll tell you something. While I think that everything I'm saying is perfectly logical, you will show this to your average liberal white girl in college, they will think I am the most hardcore, raging racist of all time. Like, this is insanity.
Be reformed, even when the entire Somali community rushes to defend this scumbag.
Maybe not of all time.
That's the fiction that apparently needs to be maintained. In the end, the Somalis got what they wanted. And that shouldn't be surprising since they effectively control the government of Minnesota at this point. The judge, Michael Burns,
you wish you were the most racist person of all time.
Was released from prison after 10 years, and the rest served on probation.
In 10 years, this dude's gonna be back out on the street. He didn't learn his lesson. What are we doing, guys? What are we doing? This is insane. This is crazy.
Was gonna do 10 years in prison for abducting and sexually assaulting a child out of her parents' backyard.
This should literally be a penis guillotine. Penis guillotine, and then you put him foot first into the wood chipper while it's on slow, okay? Make an event out of it. Invite the neighborhood, okay? Break out the barbecue grills and slowly but surely lower him into the penis guillotine machine, all right? I don't know why we are considering this even remotely acceptable. Literally kill him. According to the law, death penalty. Fucking hell, dude.
10 years. This is a sentence that, without any doubt whatsoever, should have been life imprisonment at a minimum.
Agreed.
Assuming the sharks and the firing squad weren't available.
True.
But that won't happen.
Matt Walsh never heard of the penis guillotine, but once we convert him to penis guillotine, that is the only thing he's going to think about.
Because of Minnesota's laws, which are extremely permissive when it comes to child abuse, Kalinal will be out on the streets in just a few years. Again, this is nothing new in Minneapolis or the UK, where Somali rape gangs are particularly active.
True.
They don't often report on cases like this in a local.
Completely true. They don't even talk about it because they don't want to make people racist. I don't know. I'm still scarred by the one case in the UK. That one case in the UK when there was this lady that was raped, and she said that she was raped by a Muslim. And they arrested both the rapist and the victim, and the victim's years in prison were longer than the rapist for hate speech. I remember that case happening. I think it's like a one-time case, but it doesn't matter. This is like that's fucking abominable. How do you not just literally rebel against the fucking government at that point?
News, but they're increasingly common. Here's another case from an apartment complex in
I
Minneapolis.
don't know the particulars of that case. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it is one case. I guess I highly doubt that it happened the way he just described it. I doubt it for some reason. For some reason, I doubt it.
We begin this evening with a disturbing story about a 10-year-old girl who was sexually assaulted by a stranger.
Minneapolis
stranger. Just a stranger.
Police say it happened Sunday evening in the hallway of an apartment building in the Cedar Riverside neighborhood. Police arrested 34-year-old Ahmed Hirsi Abdi
Honestly, I think he could pass for a white guy.
And 24 hours later. As Angela Davis shows us,
He's a stranger. It's just a youth.
court records show he has a history of mental illness.
I don't know, maybe some sick person did this, but
Maybe some sick person did this.
I couldn't believe it.
A criminal complaint
I couldn't believe it.
states that neighbors heard screams on the third-floor hallway. When they found a young girl crying, they ran to get help from 2 off-duty Minneapolis police officers. The victim told police that a man, later identified as Ahmed Abdi, followed her in and out of an elevator. And as she walked
It was just a stranger.
down a hallway, he asked for her name. The complaint states he then extended his hand to her. When she shook his hand, he refused to let go.
Oh my God, dude.
Now, they don't tell you where
A 10-year-old! Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's so gross. It's vile. It's vile, bro.
Ahmed Hirsi Abdi came from. They don't tell you.
In defense of Ahmed Abdi, he might have been a white gay man. Maybe his old name was John Smythe, all right, from England, and then he changed it, maybe.
Tell you if he's legally in this country or who allowed him to enter.
Possibly white. He's possibly white, in his defense. Now, obviously, there are fucking white pedophiles. This isn't to say that that's not the case. There are pedophiles in every single culture.
Wow.
Because pedophiles is not.
Wow, it only took you 50 minutes to say that. It only took you 50 minutes to say, like, oh yeah, there are white people who are pedophiles as well. What a nuanced take that is.
It's not a political issue. It's not a historical issue. It's a biological issue. And some people are fucking freaks. They absolutely are fucking freakos. However, the difference is some cultures just kind of make it okay. That's the problem. The problem is some people are like, yeah, raping children is actually not so bad, it turns out. I'm pretty sure in Somalia, they didn't even classify sexual assault as a crime until a few years ago. Like, that's how backwards some of this shit is. And that's a whole other level.
Instead, they refer to him as a stranger. They tell us he's mentally ill. And then they spend...
Chatter in my chat right now saying, are you making fun of Muslim pedophiles that take attention away from the IDF bombing unarmed people? This is everything. I'm telling you, one train of thought. How could you be talking about a pedophile when there's literally a genocide happening? What are we doing? Can we not think of 2 things at the same time, bro? Are 2 things not allowed to happen simultaneously? Oh my God, dude.
He doesn't
Why are
acknowledge
everyone
the
so retarded?
genocide, by the way.
I'll be real. Unlike in this situation where you have adults raping children, which is indefensible, and there is absolutely zero reason why it should ever happen, all right? Israel is fighting a war that they didn't start, that Hamas could have ended. That is literally not as bad as armies of child rapists.
And the rest of the segment talking about various resources.
Armies of child rapists. Yeah, man. Like, this is what I mean when I say he has a very vivid imagination.
For sexual assault survivors. But the one resource they don't talk about, even though it would drastically cut down cases like this, is the resource known as mass deportation. And that's clearly necessary at this point because we're not dealing, again, with 1 or 2 bad actors. This is an endemic problem in the culture.
I think he's right.
7 years ago, a region in Somalia established a new lab to investigate sexual assaults. And I'm
you think that they're all like that?
See if you notice anything in this.
They're all doing that. They're all like that.
Its first forensic laboratory to investigate rape cases. The lab, with support from the Swedish government and the UN Population Fund, brings cutting-edge technology to a part of the world still lacking paved roads and reliable electricity.
We used to send DNA from here to Nairobi or from here to South Africa. So those restraints now are easy. We can manage this and get answers within timely period, within hours, within minutes, where we used to have days, sometimes months to get through.
The lab opened less than a year after the Puntland region passed its first law criminalizing sexual offenses.
2018 is when they passed their first law criminalizing sexual offenses. Sexual offenses weren't crimes until 2018? Bro, what the fuck, bro? What are we doing, guys? Yeah, and you're gonna tell me that all cultures are the same? Like, these people are retarded. The IDubs retards that sit there and preach racism, like, you're all crazy. You're fucking insane people. That means they didn't...
So... yeah, I mean, that is true, and that is a pretty bad look, right? So what are you going to say about that, Jacob? What the fuck do you have to say about that? Here's what I say, man. This is a similar take to what I've had about like a country like Yemen, okay? In America, we didn't take sexual assault seriously from a law standpoint, from a judicial standpoint, until a civil rights movement occurred. The conditions that made that civil rights movement possible were the post-war effort, the alphabet soup. Okay, the FDR's alphabet soup. Like, people's material conditions rose, and then there were all these civil rights movements. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, a country like Somalia doesn't have the resources to elevate the material conditions of their constituents. And that is why they don't have civil rights movements. And that's why they are so far behind when it comes to civil rights. Civil rights for gay people, civil rights for children, for women, okay, for all of these groups of people who are like targets, who are oppressed people. That's it. That's the reason why.
View rape as a bad thing. Okay? Do
That's
you
my
want
point.
someone that
I'll
doesn't
keep
view
saying
rape
it.
as a bad thing in your country? What?
There's some police officers who say rape is not a big deal, and
There are some police officers who say rape.
It's like, it's the same reason that you can't get mad at fucking Hamas or for Yemenis for throwing gay people off of roofs. Like, yes, it's fucked up. Yes, it's wrong. It is morally abhorrent. It's the wrong thing to do, okay? But I'm not going to sit here and finger wag them when we're bombing the fuck out of them, and that's why they can't have a civil rights movement. That's
Not a big
why.
deal. You see, I'm the real feminist, all right? All the fake feminists out there that want to import people from the third world, those are the fake feminists. I'm a real feminist because I actually don't want women to get raped, all right? Oh my God, bro, we are reaching a cultural zenith, okay? We are reaching a cultural zenith, ladies and gentlemen. The actual fucking singularity, bro. If you think rape is bad, you're not inclusive enough, guys, okay? You are not inclusive enough to another exactly equal culture.
consider it a minor thing. They say it is nothing new.
Keith Shamis Kabdi-Bile is the only police officer in her unit. She handles all cases involving sexual violence in Puntland. Officer Bile says many of her rape cases are handled by community elders. The perpetrator's family may be ordered to pay the victim's family in camels or goats.
This isn't real. This isn't real, right? You rape a woman, you give the woman's dad a goat? No cultures are inferior. No cultures are inferior, ladies and gentlemen. Everything's the same. Everyone is equal. Yes, bringing in 100 of these people into your neighborhood will not make your neighborhood any less safe at all. They have the same values as you. All humans are blank slates. What? Bro, this isn't 1,000 years ago. This was filmed in 2018. Oh my God. This was filmed in 2018.
And that is just the cases that women report.
So as of 2017, Somalia had just gotten around to criminalizing sexual assault. And then with much fanfare, they opened a sexual assault forensic center.
Nice.
And the victims, if they're compensated at all, will be rewarded with camels or goats.
Oh my God, dude. Oh. Listen, the Somalians could have at least gotten the victim a goat. I'll be real here. I'll be real. It's pretty rude. Not only do they rape your daughter, but they don't even give you a goat in return. Honestly, fucking horrible. But the real question is, do you get to pick if you want camels or goats? These are the questions everyone's asking, and no one has the answers for.
That's an actual news report from Somalia. Now you have to ask,
I'm in shock.
this
I'm
question.
actually, this sounds like something out of South Park, but this is real. And you have communities of people that are just brought from countries that, I'll be real, have inferior cultures. Okay, and I'll be real. Shank Younger might appreciate the goat in return, but most people would not.
People in this country realize that Somali culture is this backwards? Was there ever a vote on allowing this into our country?
That's a really good point. That is a really good point. In this so-called democracy, how are these fucking decisions made? How are these decisions made? I didn't even consider this. I didn't even think about this, but that's true. Damn. Holy shit. This is wild. Holy shit.
Was there ever any kind of national conversation whatsoever about this?
There was no vote. There was no vote. I don't think anyone knows. I think it's some shadowy cabal fucking shit. It's the libtard organization that's fucking doing this shit. Don't worry, guys. You don't need to have children. We'll just bring in immigrants instead. These immigrants are superior in every single way. Their culture is just better, guys. I'm telling you. Bro, this is wild. Yeah, no, this is not me being racist. This is me being awake and noticing that there are some cultures that are inferior than other cultures. So, a funny story that happened to my mom. There was a man that was substantially older than my mother when she was a kid that went to my grandfather and offered if he could purchase my mother for 9 camels. My grandfather promptly said, only 9 camels? Absolutely not. And slammed the door on him. My grandfather has a sense of humor, okay? He's a funny man. May he live and be well. But this is a real true story that happened. Now, yeah, I'll be honest. That is a real true story. It was 9 camels, actually. She was easily worth 10. And dude was a bit skimpy on the camels.
Or did we just decide to grant these foreigners temporary protected status 34 years ago and let them...
My grandfather ruined so many of my mother's relationships. This dude came to... Okay, all right, this is the last story. Dude came to my grandfather's house to pick up my mother for a date. And my grandfather went, opened the door, saw the guy, saw the dude was dressed like, let's say, rather unkempt, okay? Rather unkempt dress. He reached into his pocket, he took out a $1 bill, he put it in his hand, and he closed the door. Like, I love him. He's amazing. Oh, God, he's a real legend. I love that guy.
Flood into the country by hundreds of thousands. with no checks and no conversation whatsoever about it. Put simply, we cannot be surprised when we import massive numbers of people from a third world hellhole and then they go on to commit horrible crimes.
Yeah,
this
not
kind of behavior
surprising.
is part of the culture. They have said that themselves, and it always has been. That doesn't mean that every Somali commits these crimes or wants to, but it means that the risk is unacceptably high
Yeah,
for people
he's right.
that we are welcoming into our home.
He is right. Like, I'll be honest, it's not accepted in our culture or society for this to happen. And it's if I knew someone that was a pedophile, I would immediately never talk to them ever again. It's that disgusting and horrible to me. All right, it is literally that disgusting and horrible. I would pull out the penis guillotine immediately. It's that unacceptable. Now, in a culture where it's fine, we don't want those people in our communities. You know, I'm not trying to be racist here. I'm just trying to protect my family. Like, I don't know why at all this is a thing.
And given this very obvious fact, it's time for someone in power to answer this fundamental question. Why would we ever let anyone from a culture like this into our country in any capacity under any circumstance? Here's another way of phrasing the question. How does it benefit the United States of America to allow this culture into our country?
It doesn't.
Explain to me what the
It does
benefit
not.
is to
It
this.
is purely altruistic for them, but it's for them at the expense of perhaps us. It's insane. It's
I've already
insane.
explained
now,
why.
Whenever I hear things like this, I believe in the fucking shadow government. You don't think there's some shadow government controlling shit? Because otherwise, why would this decision ever be made? If not for nefarious reasons. Like, literally why? Come on, dude.
This country, ours. And now that we made this mistake and allowed them to live here, when are we going to
Our
rectify the
country.
situation?
Our country.
For that matter, why are we allowing anyone to live here of any ethnicity or nationality who rejects every foundational principle this country stands for?
Good point.
It's not just Somalis who openly denounce America's interests, morality, customs. Just the other day, Illinois Congresswoman, who's a member of Congress, Delia Ramirez, went to Mexico City to announce, quote, "I'm a proud Guatemalan before I'm an American."
I showed that to you.
Now, this is in Spanish, but we'll play the clip. Here it is.
Nada es español porque yo soy guatemalteca con mucho orgullo primero que soy americana.
Insane.
Delia
Why would anyone say that? How could anyone say that? I don't know why we as a country are accepting this. Like, it's insane. So leave. Go back to Guatemala. I don't understand. We want the best for you, okay? Go there.
Ramirez, you should know, is Guatemala.
No way.
She was reportedly born in Chicago, which, for some reason, she's a walking example of why this administration should continue the fight to end birthright citizenship.
Holy shit.
And she's a reminder, as we've discussed, that not everyone in this country...
This is a hostile invasion. It is. So when I say deport every illegal immigrant, and I get so much shit for it, but when I say deport every illegal immigrant, I absolutely mean it. Every single person that is illegal in the country needs to leave immediately. Then you can worry about deporting the people that actually want the downfall of America. But I feel like that's the next step, all right? The Hassan Pikers, okay? The people that are outwardly propagandizing people to destroy our country, all right? Those guys, get them out also, all right? But that's the next step. The first step, every person illegal in the country should not be in the country. Unfortunately, he was born here. Don't care. Do not care. He wants the downfall of Western civilization. Well, then he shouldn't be invited in Western civilization. I don't know why we, as a people, need to stand to have people subversive retards showing up to straight up destroy us from the inside. Like, I have no idea why we need to tolerate this shit at all.
The
It's
enemy
insane.
from within.
Even the ones with legal
We gotta enact the Anti-Communism Acts, all right? Because those are real laws that still exist, all right? The Deport Communist fucking Act. Like, this is crazy.
And they haven't been enforced because they are unconstitutional. It is a violation of my First Amendment rights if you deport me because of thought crimes. You piece of shit. It's like Trumbo said. You think that this Congress has the right to force fucking testimony?
Because
you
you have
don't.
a legal step.
Okay,
I'm a Guatemalan before I'm an
you
American.
cannot get me to admit on the stand that I'm a communist and then deport me over it. That is unconstitutional, and it's wrong.
How much clearer can they possibly be? All cultures are created equal, is what we're told.
Yep,
but it's one of the many
the big
great lies of modern
For sure.
times.
I agree with him completely.
Many of our problems in the West are born from this lie. A lot of people have pretended otherwise over the years. They've invented various justifications for allowing these people to destroy entire cities in this country. But now that Somalis have finally told the truth about their culture to a judge in Minneapolis, and now the members of Congress are
Nothing's
admitting
gonna
their
change.
disloyalty to audiences in Mexico City.
So all I can hope is the future. All right, I hope that in the future we will be more careful with who we invite into the country. But I don't see us actually doing anything like that. I could just hope. I want every illegal immigrant deported. All right, and I want to be careful with future imports. Because realistically, if you have X amount of slots, those slots should go to people that would literally be a benefit to our country. Otherwise, why do we need to do favors for the universe?
There simply isn't anything to debate anymore. All we have to do is read their words, listen to them, pay attention to their actions, and respond accordingly. If you'd like to see what else...
I agree with him, to be honest. I agree with him. We have to recognize this. This whole bullshit of, everyone is created equal. I mean, every culture is equal. No cultures are better than others. Like, these are not true. Okay, these are not true statements. As I just showed you with the child sacrifice thing, they are objectively untrue statements. Now, I wish nothing but love and success for all of these cultures. I don't want anything bad to befall any of them. In fact, I want them to pick themselves up and make something of themselves. Be inspired by, the Western cultures, which are better, all right? Be inspired and improve. Absolutely. And I don't want any bad to come to these people. But why should we sacrifice ourselves, all right, and our children and our future, all right, for people that want to destroy us? I don't know why even remotely we need to care about any of that whatsoever. That is fucking insane. Now, I wanted to wrap up with this. Speaking of cultures, this is an airline in Sweden that released probably the worst video of the year. And so I want you to lock in. Speaking of cultures, this is the worst video of all time, of the year at the very least, to show you that woke is dead, but only in America. Woke is very alive in Europe. This is talking about how, I think it's Scandinavians or whatever, have no culture. And all the goodness in Scandinavia is because of imports.
What is truly Scandinavian? Absolutely nothing.
That's right. right, Scandinavian is nothing, because white people have no culture and no past, and are not native to anywhere. White people are native people with no culture.
Nada.
There is no such thing.
Everything is copied. Our democracy? Credit goes to Greece. Parental leave?
Thank you, Switzerland.
The iconic Scandinavian windmills were actually invented in Persia, and we made the German bicycle a staple of our cities. It's Turkish. Smapple? Dutch.
What about licorice?
It's Chinese and
Midsommarstången.
German.
And gets worse.
Rumor has it the oh-so-Swedish meatballs might not be as Swedish as you think, but Turkish.
Even the Danish isn't Danish.
It's Austrian and the pride of Norway. The paperclip was actually invented by an American. And while we're at it, America, thank you for taking the first steps in empowering the women's rights movement.
Go America!
We're no better
Than our Viking ancestors.
I had to pause it there. I'm sorry. This is my favorite part of the video.
The women's rights movement. We're no better
Than our Viking ancestors.
Brother, you did not have Viking ancestors. I'll be real, okay? You didn't have Viking ancestors, okay? Sir, you're black. I don't know if anyone told you this. I don't know if you are aware. Vikings were not. Sir, you do not have Viking ancestors, okay? You are cringe. That's what you are, bro. You are cringe, okay? What are we fucking doing, guys? All right, so when I see a video like this, all right, when this dude's saying that we're no better than our Viking ancestors, spit in your mouth and make you swallow, motherfucker. This is insanity. This is absolute insanity. Hate yourself, hate your heritage, don't be proud of who you are. You are nothing that came from nothing. The only thing that is good about you are things that you are taking from other people.
We take everything we like on our trips abroad.
You are black. You cannot have Viking ancestors. Impossible. Impossible.
Inspires us to think big, even though we're quite small. Because every time we go beyond...
Yeah, wait until Nuxanor finds out that biracial people exist. That'll blow his fucking mind.
Colors, generations, progress. Adding the best of everywhere to here.
Yeah, this is the worst ad, by the way, ever made.
In a way, Scandinavia was brought here. Peace.
Not that bad.
By everyday people who
It's
found
true.
the best of our home away from home.
Wow.
So,
A lot of Western cultures are like this, okay? Like, if we're going to talk about Western culture, a lot of it was borrowed from other cultures, even stolen, even through colonial influence.
we can't wait to see what wonderful things you'll bring home next.
Yeah, the Swedish Airlines thing. This might be the worst advertisement of all time. I wanted to show this to you to show you that this shit is so alive. They hate you, okay? Think about it from this lens, okay? The libtards of the world, okay, will come together and tell you that there are no superior or inferior cultures. All cultures are equal, except for white people, because white people have no culture. Do you recognize not only the hypocrisy, but the retardation that we're dealing with? Thank you so much for being here. This is the most racist video I ever made, and I'm so proud.
Yeah, Scandinavia does have culture. There is Scandinavian culture. I don't agree that there is no culture there, okay? Because once again, it is an ethnicity. However, white people, that is not an ethnicity. Okay, if we're talking about white people, that is just a generalization of people with white skin. Okay, and that's why we say white people don't have culture. It's not like literally like all white people don't have culture. It's just that like white people come from a diverse set of cultures. Meaning that there is no central white culture. There is no white culture. Okay, when we say that there's no white culture, we mean it literally. There is no white culture. There's Scottish culture, there's English culture, German culture. All of these things are real. Okay, but not white culture. That's it. It's not like the same with black culture. That is a thing because of that's a bit of a longer history lesson, okay, but like America. Black people in America have a unique culture that isn't tied to like a nationality, an ethnic background, in a nationality. That's it.
Definitely subscribe for more racism, and I'll see you in the next one, gamers. Stay weird, fam. Subscribe, and this video is free.
I won't be subscribing, but I will be anticipating your next racist venture